The sons of God, the B'nai Elohim, the Annunaki, interdimensional beings. Well, in this video, we're going to explain exactly what is taking place at the River Euphrates and the interdimensional showdown that is soon to take place on planet Earth. And we're starting now. Now, it's important that I get you thinking with a Hebrew mind and approach to the structure of the universe and creation, and what is really meant by interdimensional beings or travelers from other dimensions, realms, and galaxies. You see, we've adopted the Greek idea and have tried to understand the mysteries of God, the universe, and even us from a Greek linear concept. When we read about the Apostle Paul's experience of being caught up to the third heaven, our mind immediately goes to, okay, 1, 2, 3, and it's normally always upward. Now, this was not the mind and concept of the ancient Hebrews. They understood the different dimensions to be almost like intertwined with each other, and the third heaven and second heaven were like stepping through doorways in a horizontal way and not trying to ascend upward somewhere. Even their approach to reading and understanding the very genesis of our existence and the 7 days of creation was in a circular fashion. The beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning, rather than a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 linear and horizontal pattern. I say again, it is vitally important for us to understand the Hebrew mind and concept of looking at dimensions and creation and our very existence if we are to move along further and be able to understand what is really happening at places like the Euphrates River, the UFO sightings that are becoming more frequent, contact with supernatural beings, whether bad or good. There is a lot of attention, more than ever, with what is taking place at the Euphrates River, and mostly because of the literal drying up of the river, which was prophesied in the Bible. Revelation chapter 16 verse 12, the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. And then in verse 13, the sixth angel sounded his trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from the four horns of the golden altar that is before God. It said to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. And the four angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and day and month and year were released to kill a third of mankind. With the explorations of the caves and dried up areas at the Euphrates River, places that were once submerged in water have now resulted in many reports from eyewitnesses of having supernatural encounters with beings, entities not of this world. There's been audio recordings that have gone viral on the internet of disturbing screams of creatures underneath the ground. Many attribute this to the four angels that are chained underneath the river as described in the Bible passage. And once again, if we understand the Hebrew mind, we will very soon discover that we have been trapped in the Greek understanding, the linear horizontal Greek mindset, and more specifically the case with the river Euphrates. There is no fallen angel or some kind of being or monster trapped underneath the river, but what is there is an access point, a portal into another dimension. You see, the earth has various access points, or some would call portals, some below the ground surface, some in mountains, many under the sea, the entire marine kingdom. Now that's for another video. But just as we humans have various access points in our physical bodies, the earth has this too. I guarantee you, if they were to dig deep down into the earth below the Euphrates River, they won't find anything there except rock and maybe some ancient artifacts. However, these beings, in order to get access to the earth realm, will need to come through a very important interdimensional location, which is situated, in this case, below the Euphrates River. The drying up of the actual water is only a sign or indication from God to mankind that when you see this happening, you will know that these events are soon to take place. The disciples asked Jesus on the Mount of Olives, when will this all take place and what will be the sign of your coming? Jesus mentions a few vitally important points that we need to pay attention to. Luke 21:10, then he said to them, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, famines and pestilence in various places, and fearful events and great signs from heaven. And verse 25, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. There will be signs in the heavens. Jesus said it. Verse 29, immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Jesus mentions that the heavenly bodies will be shaken. So Jesus is telling us that the more severe warnings or signs, the more dire warnings are going to come from the heavens, not so much below in the earth. We see this also in Hebrews chapter 12 verse 26. At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. So he is removing these heavenly bodies from the heavens. That which can be shaken will be shaken, and what cannot be shaken and will remain is the kingdom of God. Now these created beings, the B'nai Elohim, the sons of God of Genesis 6, the Annunaki from ancient Sumeria, interdimensional beings, intergalactic beings, whatever you want to call them, God is telling us that these beings are being removed from their heavenly estates. They are being pushed out of the heavenlies and into the earth realm of time and space for the final judgment between God and the kingdom of darkness. Now these heavens that they currently occupy, most would call the second heavens. Remember Greek thinking, the Hebrew mind is circular motion, the end is the beginning is the end, not a 1, 2, 3 upward motion. This is why UFO sightings and abductions are on an all-time high. This is why encounters with supernatural beings and non-human entities are rapidly increasing. This is why the supernatural activities at the Euphrates River are on an all-time high. The River Euphrates being situated on top of one of the planet's most important access points for interdimensional traveling. Now the subatomic realm, the quantum realm, scientists tell us that there are multi-dimensions and that the veil between these dimensions is very thin. Now if you send a particle beyond the speed of light, it enters another dimension. You cannot see or feel it, but it exists, but in another dimension. So these heavenly bodies, these powers, are existing in other dimensions and have enjoyed the superiority they have had over us humans for thousands of years. They have been traveling in and out of our planet's key access points, but we have now entered a time where God is beginning to judge. One of the greatest deceptions that will ever strike humanity, I believe, is when these beings are here permanently, not because they choose to be, but because the judge of heaven, of all things, has brought them here, pushed them out of their domains where they have ruled and reigned for so long into the earth realm to be judged, to the point where they will be here permanently in the flesh and will lead humanity into thinking that they have come to help us to save our planet. They will masquerade as beings from other planets and far galaxies that have come to help mankind evolve into a higher state of consciousness, and even to the extent to try and convince humanity that they in fact were our creators. And we even see evidences of this in the ancient Sumerian mythology with the Annunaki, or the sons of An, where they teach that these reptilian creatures were here right from the genesis of man, right in the Garden of Eden, that they in actual fact were the serpent mentioned, the serpent that deceived mankind in the beginning. Beings from other dimensions that want to harvest the God DNA in man and earth. And that is for another video. The veil is thinning quickly, the veil between the natural and the supernatural. Signs in the heavens above and signs in the earth below. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.